Today's devotion is titled Champions Die Empty. And we're on day 343 and we're on December the 9th. And today's morning rinse is 1 Samuel 20 through 22. And the featured verses include 1 Samuel 20, 41 and 42. When the lad was gone, David rose from the south side and fell on his face to the ground and bowed 3 times. And they kissed each other and wept together. But David wept the more. Jonathan said to David, "Go in safety, inasmuch as we have sworn to each other in the name of the Lord, saying, 'The Lord will be between me and you, and between my descendants and your descendants forever.'" Then he rose and departed, while Jonathan went into the city. Just because champions are known for conquering opposition, this does not mean it is easy when they face it. Jonathan discovered that his father Saul had intentions of killing David. And in an angry reaction to the news that David would not be joining them for dinner, Saul even tried to kill Jonathan. Well, when Saul's evil plans were exposed, Jonathan had to privately send David away to save David's life and ultimately preserve his purpose. I can imagine all of this happening. I mean, Jonathan and David were so close. This intense moment of sadness was overwhelmingly heart-wrenching. The deep well of tears flowed down their cheeks as they expressed their goodbyes towards one another. They had become best of friends, experiencing a soul tie of championship that began the moment that they met, actually. But it was inevitable for them to part ways, making these 2 champions weep with grief for the loss of each other. Jonathan and David were influencers. They were champions. They were marked with God's hands still full of purpose for their lives. Dying with unfulfilled purpose was not part of God's plan. Dying empty with their purpose completed was. So this separation was inescapable to dodge the hands of Saul's murderous heart. The weeping finally ceased, and David set out alone into an unknown future with his enemy lurking to kill him. You know, sometimes hard decisions must be made to preserve and protect our own destiny. We should all want to protect it in any way we can so that we complete what God has asked us to do so that we die empty. A portion of Jonathan's purpose was fulfilled that day when he helped preserve David's purpose by saving his life. And this was very risky for him to do, but he chose to help despite the danger that it put him in. My belief is that champions do what it takes to die empty, and champions help other champions do the same. And this was exactly what Jonathan was doing. Jonathan was helping David continue on with his purpose so that his legacy would continue moving forward. The purpose of his life would continue moving forward. And I cannot imagine how hard this moment was. I mean, it wasn't only hard to find out that Saul was trying to kill David, but Jonathan was the bearer of that news, and Jonathan and him were torn with how to respond to this horrible news. And they knew that the only thing that could happen at this moment was for David to leave, to get out of that situation, to get out of Saul's presence, to get out of danger as best as what he could. But sometimes hard decisions are made in the making and pursuing of purpose. And falls on today's challenge to dig deeper. Do you or a friend of yours have a really tough decision that needs to be made in order to preserve and protect a purpose? And I'm encouraging you with this challenge to struggle with it no more. Do what it takes to protect it. Do what it takes to protect your marriage. Do what it takes to protect your family. Do what it takes in the hard times. And I understand there are hard times. This kind of decision could be a number of things, even as simple as just keeping information about the purpose for your life confidential. It's being authentic. It's being truthful. It's making hard decisions when you don't think you can, but you really can. So whatever it is, whatever that purpose is for your life, do it, do whatever it takes to preserve it and protect that purpose. It may be being careful with who you hang out with. It may be you have a purpose in sharing God's truth and God's light. And in order to do that, you have to not listen to some influences that are in your life. I don't know. But do what it takes to preserve the purpose for your life, and do what it takes to preserve, what God has been speaking to you about. Do what it takes. Have integrity about your life. When you are finishing your day and you're having your evening reflection, while you may not be faced with daily life-altering decisions like what David and Jonathan had to face that we read about today, when those life-altering decisions come, are you going to be ready for them? Are you going to be full of God's purpose, and that you will know without a shadow of a doubt what you're supposed to do instead of wavering? Will you know? I want you to write that down. Do you believe that you are going to be ready? And how will you respond to those life-altering decisions, just like David and Jonathan had to make in that moment? Are you ready? Are you ready to fulfill the purpose that God has for you? Are you ready to walk in purpose and integrity, doing the things that God would want you to do, even the hard decisions? And if you are, then I'm excited to hear about them. If you do not have my devotional, it's down in the show notes, as well as in the description. There are links in both of those places. And as we continue to move forward in these little nuggets are in 1st and 2nd Samuel, I am looking forward to continuing this book. I like the Old Testament, and I like 1st and 2nd Samuel. I do. I like reading about David and the champions and some of those key decision makers in the Old Testament, and all the miracles that God did through their stories. And I'm praying you're enjoying this read as well. And until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.